Hello again, everyone. This is Chris Scher, and that's Robert Harding. And this is the Citizen Sports Weekly for July 31st, 2014.
Time flies.
I had to think about it. Yeah, we haven't been together in a while, have we? It's been, like that old Peaches and Herb song, circa 1979. Reunited, and it feels so good. You knew I had to throw in some type of pop culture, music, oldies reference there.
Yeah.
It's been a while. I'm trying to think. I wasn't here last week. The week before I wasn't here either. That's right. Did we do? No. We didn't do one. Yeah.
No.
And then the week before you were off.
That's right.
So it's been a good month.
Yeah.
For the viewers, it's been a good month. They haven't had to watch us.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so we're going to talk about a few things here today, some hot sports topics. But before we get really into the pro stuff that we're going to discuss, I just want to mention Steve Crosby, longtime friend, dates back to 6th grade English class at East Middle School here in Auburn, is stepping down as the head lacrosse coach for the boys team at Auburn High School. And I have a column in today's paper, auburnpub.com. You can read it. And Steve is as gracious and nice a person as you ever want to meet. He's a great lacrosse coach, but he's even a better person. And I just want to say thanks for his time and helping me put together the column, and wish him well on his, well, he's not going to retire. He's still going to be a guidance counselor at Auburn High School, so he's not retiring, but he's no longer going to be coaching varsity lacrosse. And I wish Matt Smith nothing but the best as he succeeds Steve, and I know he'll do a great job. So with that, we'll jump into our first topic.
Yes.
NFL. We have games this weekend. We have an actual NFL game. It's preseason.
An honest-to-God game.
It's the Hall of Fame game, but it involves the Bills and the Giants. And Robert over here is fortunate enough that he will be going to Canton, Ohio this weekend to see the induction ceremonies, including his favorite, Andre Reed.
That's right. Yeah. It's exciting. This has been kind of a long road for Andre Reed since he became eligible, and to be able to finally get in is kind of cool. Growing up, he was my favorite player. I liked what he brought to the field. Great receiver, but a guy that today, you look at some of these receivers and they're either a deep threat, they're big,
right.
They're a jump ball guy, or they or they're smaller, they play in the slot. He could do it all.
Mm-hmm.
He could run those deep routes. He could, run routes across the middle. He didn't mind doing any of that. And there's a few other receivers that are in the Hall of Fame that certainly played that way too. So to see him finally get in is great. And for me, it's going to be my first trip to Canton.
I was going to ask you that. You read my mind.
So I'm excited to get down there, and it'll be my third professional Hall of Fame. I've been to hockey. I went to baseball twice earlier this year. So now I get to see football. So then basketball is the only one left on the list.
And that's the only one I haven't been to. I have been to the Hockey Hall of Fame in Toronto. I have been to the Pro Football Hall of Fame 3 times. And I've been to Cooperstown numerous times.
Citizen Sports Weekly road trip.
I was going to say, let's do Springfield. It's not that far. It's about a 3.5-hour drive. I'm going to speculate.
It's not bad, yeah.
No, the way I drive will be much quicker. It'll be 3. We'll have to do it. We'll have to do the road trip. We'll pick a Saturday.
Well, it's on video now, so none of us can get out of it.
Well, we'll go. We have to go. It's fine. So, anyways, I'm going to speak about Andre Reed for a second. Look, being a Dolphins fan, Andre Reed really hurt the Dolphins a lot. And that's football, and that's the way the game is played. You have to do that. It's your job. So I'm happy he's in the Hall of Fame. He's worthy of being in the Hall of Fame. And I'm happy Robert's going to get to go. And I will give Robert, I feel a little bit bad for you because you're going arguably the busiest weekend of the season of the year, and you may not be able to tour the hall the way you might ordinarily would want to, or you can take your time and
definitely have to go back.
You have to go back, and but it's really cool. They've done a lot of renovations and additions, and it's an amazing place. You're going to love it. I'm just going to tell you, Peach Street, Erie, Pennsylvania, ChickfilA. Got to stop for a chicken sandwich, man. Good stuff.
There it is.
All right, I had to do it. Plug. All right, well, I don't get anything from ChickfilA, believe me. Anyways, anything else about the NFL Hall of Fame, the Pro Football Hall of Fame that you want to discuss or go into, or anything about the NFL?
Yeah, just just with the Hall of Fame, it's good to see Ray Guy get in there.
Yes, I remember Ray Guy when I was a kid. He was a Great punter.
It's one of those things like, kickers getting their due, and
Yep.
he's one that certainly deserves to get in. Strahan's getting in.
Yeah.
From the Giants, another New York team. We joke and say they're really from New Jersey, but whatever. Strahan's getting in, and that's good. Well deserved. I mean, he had one of the best pass rushers of all time. And, it's a great class.
I think it is.
Aeneas Williams, read a story about him today. I mean, that's a guy as a corner. Derek Brooks, yeah. I mean, there's guys that, you kind of think back now and you remember, some of the teams they used to play on and, how bad those teams were. But you remember how great they were.
Yeah.
Like, Aeneas Williams is a great example. And, it's good to see him get credit even though he didn't always play on the best teams. So.
Of course, the fun part is who cries. Who cries during their induction speech?
Who
Now,
cries?
baseball, Frank Thomas was blubbering last week, which was nice to see. Look, there's nothing wrong with a grown man crying in an emotional moment. Nothing wrong with it.
Chris does it every day.
I do it every day. You have to have a good cry, So I think it'll be fun to see who breaks down and cries. I think it's going to be Michael Strahan. That's my guess.
I think so, yeah.
I got to admit, the person I want to hear their speech the most is Ray Guy. Because I think he's probably the oldest player of the group to be inducted. I think everybody else in that group, he's probably the oldest.
Yeah, most of them are fairly. I mean, you're talking guys like Reed and Brooks,
90s and early
Williams,
2000s.
they're fairly.
2000s, yeah.
I mean, a lot. Not only do adults like people your age,
Right.
my age, even younger people know who these guys are. So it's not. You're getting into the territory where these guys are going in, and a lot of people know them.
Now here's a trivia question. Shortest name in NFL history has to be Ray Guy.
I would think
It's
so.
only 6 letters.
6 letters, yeah.
Can anyone have a shorter name than 6 letters? I mean, seriously. Alrighty, so we'll wrap it up on that topic for the NFL. Our next topic, quickly, is baseball trades. The deadline, I believe, is just passed. Is it 4 o'clock Eastern?
I believe so.
Then it's passed. And the hot topic just before we went on was David Price was going to be traded to the Tigers. I mean, that's pretty impressive if that is true. But earlier in the day, John Lester went from the Red Sox to the A's for Cespedes. For the rest of us, as I like to rip off Keith Olbermann there. He says that, and that's a great trade for the A's. The A's are going all out here. They want to win this thing. I think Billy Beane, he's been disappointed too many times in the playoffs. He's gotten too many A's teams to the playoffs, and they've folded. They have not been in the World Series since 1990, I believe, and they have not won it since 1989. I think he knows that something. The clock's running. I got to do something, and he's going all in, and you got to love that. And I'm pulling for the A's. I'd love to see them win the whole thing, and I guess, and we could have a Bay Area World Series, but I guess we could talk more about that at another time. But I think the Giants are going to be a team to be reckoned with down the stretch. They seem to have a knack of putting it together late in the season. The Cardinals got Justin Masterson from the Indians and Lackey there from the Red Sox.
Yeah.
And your Nationals getting Asdrubal Cabrera of the Indians, who a guy I've seen play. Guy I saw hit a walk-off home run against the Reds.
You got me an Asdrubal Cabrera bobblehead.
That's right. I should put that on eBay, see what I can get for
Sitting
it.
in a bedroom back home.
Yeah, now you can just paint it with Nats colors.
That's right.
Just the same thing. So, there's teams that are selling, there are teams that are buying. It's what makes baseball great is that a trading deadline in baseball, unlike the NFL. Hockey, yes, there's impacts in hockey. Maybe the NBA, but I think the baseball trade deadline is the best one to be watching. And there's been some great trades today and the last couple days, and it's going to be fun to see how everything shakes out. And of course, as we know, you can still trade people, but you have to put them through waivers, and that's where other fun starts. That's how the Yankees got Jose Canseco a few years ago. It's hard to believe that guy actually wore Yankee pinstripes for a few months, So, Robert, what's your take on the baseball trade deadline?
The A's trade with the Red Sox is interesting to me because I can see why it would help the A's. I mean, Johnny Gomes, who was also acquired as part of that, certainly kind of fits the A's mold.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not what you would consider a top flight outfielder, but he gets the job done. And the A's over the years have a lot of guys like that you can think of.
Mm-hmm.
But picking up Lester obviously gives them another tool. In the toolbox, in terms of a strong starting pitcher, a guy who could really be your ace, especially in the playoffs, and that's a big deal. But on the other side of it, I mean, Cespedes going to the Red Sox. I like that move for them, and it could be one of those things like if Lester doesn't deliver and Gomes really doesn't contribute, where you might come back to this trade and wonder if the A's made the right move, especially if they get into the playoffs and they won series and they're out. Because Cespedes, good young player, great outfielder
Right.
for one,
Great arm.
and he's got a great bat. And that's a lot to give up. I mean, Lester certainly, when he's at his best, can contribute for you. Gomes, like we said, but giving that up is that's a price to pay.
Yeah.
So hopefully it pays off for him.
Another thing I like about the A's getting Lester is just obvious is that you got a guy who pitched in the World Series last year. You got a guy with postseason experience who knows what to do, how to handle things, and is going to be ready to go. And I think that's good for the A's getting him. So, anything else you want to add, sir?
Just on the Nationals trade, I love
Yes.
it. Love it.
Oh, of course,
Love
yes.
it. I think you look around that infield, with Rendon.
They're horrible. Their fundamentals are the worst.
Yeah, I mean they've been getting better,
Right.
But one of the glaring holes was at second.
Yeah.
You had Ian Desmond. Of course you have Ryan Zimmerman and Adam LaRoche in the mix too. So, but they had that second base hole. They've had Espinosa over the years, but he's really not starting. Rendon was kind of in that hole too. But now you got a guy who can come in and be an everyday second baseman for you. And if Desmond needs a rest, throw him over his shoulder.
Well, I mean, he is a shortstop,
Yeah.
right? I mean, that's the thing. Having him play second, I think is a little risky because he's going to be out of position because he's a shortstop.
Well, he
But-
started playing second before he switched to short, I think.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, most infielders do play multiple positions, but I just think that
They're talking about in Cleveland using Zach Walters in the outfield.
Yeah. The Indians. I'm not going to go there, but it's still too soon.
Sore subject.
Still too soon. But yeah, I think it's like I said. I think it's a good move for the Nats. He's a solid player, a great defender, solid offensively. I think he's held off a little bit offensively with some of his numbers the last couple of years, but he still can hit the ball well, and I think it's a great pickup for the Nationals.
Good stuff.
All right. So I guess now we'll wrap it up.
Sure.
Apologize, I didn't remember to bring that in earlier there. So, but Robert, have a great time in Canton. Drive carefully,
Absolutely.
and I guess we'll see you next week. We'll make it back-to-back weeks of the Citizen Sports Weekly. Thanks for watching.